So this lesson, I'm just going to briefly describing linear current recurrence relations, and this basically means that when there's a linear relationship, so a straight line relationship between each iteration, and this is mostly the ones that we're going to focus on in this course. So I'm just going to explain all the different terms. It's kind of like it's not really formally what you need to memorize, because hopefully if you understand it you shouldn't need to memorize it, but I will just go through it anyway. So what are the different terms? So un plus 1, okay, I'll make it a bit neater. Un plus 1. So what is this? Well, this is just the iteration, or so the number, the cycle we're on. So cycle, can I spell cycle? C-Y-C-L-E. Okay, so this is just the cycle. A is the rate. So this could be the interest, growth, loss. Okay, and B is just the amount that might be added each time. So in the last example where I talked about debt, so this is just the constant that's added at each iteration. So when I talked about debt, so I was taking £120 off my balance each time. Okay, but at the same time it could be I had my money in a bank and I was adding £100 every year. So this is just how much is the constant that's added at each point. So it's just the constant. Cool. So you might notice that this actually follows the same equation as the line. So it's y equals mx plus c. And for these type of equations to work, you can't have a equals 0, because that would just be un plus 1 equals b, which nothing's changing at any point because there's no rate, there's no increase, there's no loss. So that just wouldn't make sense. And I'm just going to cover this because something that was never really explained to me is the little n. Like you see it all the time in maths and programming and stuff. N is just the point at in the cycle you're going. So if I say n all the way to 4, so n0 is the point you start at because you're just in your initial conditions. N1 is your first cycle, etc. N2 equals your second cycle. So it can be a bit confusing because there's, n0, n1, n plus 1. Well, basically, this, another way of thinking about it is this is just, so if this is, let's think of an example, so this is 4, then you want n a u 3 plus b, because this number is 1 higher than that and that one is 1 lower than that. Sorry if I rambled on a little bit there, but it just makes a lot of sense if you're really trying to understand what's going on here, because if you just memorize the different letters, they don't really mean anything. So try to think about it. Think of a straight line, and then using that, use that. If you remember the straight line equation, then just change it. So x equals 1, 2, 3. This is the same. Iteration 1, 2, 3. Okay, hope you get it. Just ask any questions if you're stuck.